So the crypto market's still in a very interesting spot right now, with Trump doing a lot of damage to our bags. So for all of you that have not noticed, over the past, I'm going to say day or so, Trump has been getting a lot of announcements out there, and partially they're all about tariffs, and we've seen the last time that when he mentions tariffs, prices go down. But on the opposite side, even though he's not been making announcements for it, he's been buying Ethereum. I believe right now a controlled company, I think 𝗲𝗏𝗍, owns about $500 million worth of it. And if you really start thinking about all that's going on, all the ETF filings, all the discussions of crypto in, I'm going to say, the higher up levels, and this is a very crucial and important part also, the ETF changes or drops, I should call it, just more and more ETF is being filed, partially futures, partially spot. We've seen it from many altcoins, also on spot, and here's just a new announcement that Solana futures ETFs debut on the DTCC. But another thing which I'll describe further and in more detail in a different video, the SEC dropped the Gemini investigation. It's a pretty big deal, but I think it deserves a completely different topic, so that will come out a bit later today. Regardless, so just to give you guys some quick insights, today's been filled, like I said, with Trump announcements. What has he been saying? Well, one of his announcements was that China was going to get an additional 10% worth of tariffs. He also confirmed that the tariffs were coming for both Mexico and Canada in 6 days or so, the 4th of March. And basically, I'm going to say about 10 minutes or so after he did, Bitcoin fell another $2,000, and most of our altcoins fell by about 1% or so. Now, matter of fact, not 1%. It's been significantly more on some of the coins. But here comes the kicker, here comes the point. To some extent, it kind of feels as if with all these ETF applications coming in and Trump buying so much, and it's kind of been interesting that a lot of the markets were going up, but only crypto was going down. NVIDIA had a beautiful announcement, just everything was looking good. That I kind of find it interesting how they're buying and so many beautiful things are happening, but prices are going down. And people like to put up this argument saying, yeah, but the ETFs, they're selling. Well, really? Are they? Is it really that big a deal? Are they really doing some crazy offloading? We talked before about how they hedge the situation, but also when you start looking at the numbers, it's nothing really significant. It's nothing really groundbreaking. And always within ETFs, you got to have some sell-offs every now and then. But let's just conclude a couple of things. One, progress in the crypto space right now is going faster than we've ever seen before, with senators, world leaders, and I'm going to say massive companies now stepping in harder than we've ever seen. So that's on the one hand. On the opposite end, we've had some of the craziest months ever in terms of announcements. Again, run it back. President of the United States launched a meme coin, says they might launch a reserve, and we can kind of get the ball rolling there. And on the opposite side, timeline-wise, this is usually the spot where things get craziest. I know people like to compare back to, for example, March, April of 2024, where we dipped down a little bit and stayed in that level for about half a year. And I keep saying again and again, it really seems they just want you to sell. Really, when I start adding things up, it really seems that like they're just trying to make you afraid. A lot of people right now over on X, on YouTube, are making all these panic announcements saying, "Oh, it's over, it's going to go down from here." But really, start looking back at the fundamentals. People keep saying, or I've shown multiple times, this is usually the phase where things get crazy, like I just said. March and April, whatever, it went down for 6 months. Don't you realize, though, that if we have a similar sort of thing happening, that this is where the craziest of opportunities would lie? And you can see it back in how the price reacted throughout the last day or so. Went to about 82,000 or so, right back up to 88, I believe it was, for Bitcoin. Then right now back to like 84 based on some of the Trump announcements. It's just madness, but it's some madness we've not seen in a while. Since I believe the middle of January or so, it's mostly just been sideways with altcoins slowly bleeding. I think it's kind of preferable for Bitcoin to make a move down, a bit of a harder move down, so some coins can finally get that shake they've needed for a while to hopefully start building again from a proper level. And again, I see it for the most part as just getting yourself some juicy entries because the longer term vision doesn't change. And that's the most important thing that I can tell anybody. Think about the longer term. Think about what you're buying for, and think if you're selling, somebody else is buying that. Who are you selling it to? Why are they buying? What did they know that you do not know? Are they stupid? Maybe. Right? Maybe they're dumb enough to buy your coins when everything is going down forever. But in the history of crypto, throughout I guess the past to now, it's never been a good idea to sell your coins and not come back in. You know, you could say, yeah, it could have been a good idea to sell Bitcoin in the middle of January at 109,000 or XRP at $3.40, whatever, a little while back. And I can respond back saying, yeah, this is true because you'd be in some profit right now. But the point still is, even if you didn't, right? If we look back at history, as long as you kept on buying dips, you kept on just keeping it up, you kept on going, you would have made significant amounts of gains. And that's what I always keep trying to get into people's heads, that it's not so much a very short-term game of, oh, is it going to be lower tomorrow or not? Because you can analyze everything, right? And people keep talking about these supports and resistances, which I enjoy to some extent. But then, again, you have to think about the fact that if Trump just makes one announcement, all of a sudden all your theories get thrown right back in the garbage bin because he might just move the price completely. Or all of a sudden he says, reserve, and bam, price moves completely. Specifically about XRP, I want to make a whole separate video about it, I wanted to say. But think about it. All these cases right now are being dropped. My internet seems to not be working here over on the PC. Otherwise, I would have shown you, but it will need to work for me to upload this anyway. But Robinhood got dropped, Uniswap got dropped, Gemini got dropped. All these different cases that were crucial from a crypto perspective before, they're all being dropped. If you can't comprehend that soon there's going to be probably a massive announcement of the Ripple case being dropped, especially with all the hints that Garling House, etc. have been given, then I don't know. Then we're just on different wavelengths. But I'm already seeing that as an opportunity of, hey, you know what? I could probably set up my bot to see when this announcement comes out, see when the file drops, and open up a massive long, guaranteed profit, in my opinion, not financial advice, almost guaranteed profit. Pretty good multiplier. Theoretically speaking, you only need that one move to retire your entire family. People keep thinking, oh, you need consistent, many. No. You only need one right move. And theoretically speaking, if you set yourself up right, one move, one announcement, one properly made strategy is all you ever need for your entire life. And I think a lot of people are also overthinking this, thinking, yeah, but once that happens, we're going to start going this and that, but do. One of the reasons I talk about Blowfin a lot, links in the description down below, is not because I can tell everybody, hey, this leverage stuff is the most amazing thing you ever find. No, for some people it doesn't work. But to others, I keep saying that this can be an opportunity where if you've either got an edge, you know what you're doing, or you just want to make more use of smaller price differences, leverage can actually be significantly useful. And that's why a lot of people use it, because you can make more money on, I guess, a smaller move. Let's just call it like that. At the end of the day, the volatility is what brings us the money, right? The fact that it goes down a lot is also the fact that it could go up a lot, I guess, right? The fact that it goes like this is what we're happy with. A lot of people just want to see up and up and up and up, but usually that's a sign of something bad happening, right? You want it to come down. Just ask your missus. But even now, I've been looking through announcements here. Pakistan plans to establish a council to oversee crypto policy. More Ripple announcements. More of the fact that, for example, stocks yesterday closed green. Litecoin was up a ton. Nvidia was up a ton, but Bitcoin was down. Why? Bank of America talking about launching a stablecoin. Alex Becker said, Bank of America literally wants to make a stablecoin, and BlackRock and Trump are buying ETH in $100 million clips. And you're bearish in altcoin season, you glue-eating dumbass. I won't be as heavy to say that, but I will say, indeed, from a fundamental perspective, we're at the best point ever. Really, a Bitcoin maxi perspective, we're at a cliff, because it seems to get more and more centralized now as we speak, to which I can say, it makes more sense for some of the altcoins to do well this season, because if institutional interest is there, what will they go for? Something they perhaps can control more, which is why we stated before that US-based currencies might be in a better spot this season than ever before, just because they have more trust, and that's why they might also get bigger checks, bigger investments. Hey, another breaking news announcement. The SEC just ended their investigation into Consensus. Did I already say that, though? I feel like I've already... No, I didn't say that yet. So another one. Another one bites the dust, most likely, if you're watching this right now. Again, I wanted to make a separate video about it, but I think the Ripple case is also probably going to end soon here. I don't really think there's anything the SEC can do to hold them back, if you get my drift. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be one of the crazier announcements coming out rather soon. I'm ready for it, though. It's going to be a very, very big deal, a very profitable deal as well. And yeah, we'll talk about it a bit later. But yeah, that's about it for this little crypto update. Just want to say, Trump is messing with our bag significantly by announcing all these terror things. But from the SEC side, things are doing very good. From the fundamental side, things are doing very good. So do not panic. It's my thoughts, not financial advice.